Well, I hope everybody out there had a good weekend. I'm making sure my mic is set right. Oh, well, one more day. Tomorrow seems to be the last day of this year, so I guess I probably won't see you on here the rest of this year. I was looking out at there well, actually, I watched Two Leaves in a Pod last night and then finished it up this morning. And I clicked over on Super Dave's channel, Millstown Best, this morning. Well, actually, it was this afternoon, I guess. He'd already finished up his live, so I got to see the video. As always, everybody had their stuff in line and sounded pretty good. And this past week, of course, we got to see the Harley Jolly Christmas, and it turned out pretty sweet, I thought. The little 5-year-old got dazzled with lights and presents, and my understanding is she was her arms got tired and hands got tired from opening presents, so that's a good thing for her, I guess. She's a sweet little thing, and I'm glad that everything turned out right for her. You can't help but it makes your heart feel better to see happiness like this. And you know, I know that a lot of the kids, or most of the kids out there in the area, were able to enjoy presents. A lot of goings on out there in Otter Creek itself that were more joyous than anything, and I can't help but think that it was the absence of certain things that made it turn out so well. And I don't have to say any more about that. I also noticed that it looks like Jeremy returned to the creek and is happily riding his John Deere around town. I seen him. He looked like he was he was so happy he was riding a side saddle. You know what I mean? I got a kick out of it, you know. Years ago, proper ladies would ride horses, saddles, side saddle. I had no idea that men did that with tractors. You know, I was raised around tractors. I'll have to admit, I got chuckling when I seen it going down the road with sideways holding the camera. I'm thinking, you got to be kidding me. But then, you know, what the hell? I couldn't tell whether he had a skirt on or not. Normally, when you ride side saddle, my understanding is it's because of the skirt. But oh well. You can tell he hasn't been around country too much. He just doesn't know that it's the female species of the human race that rides side saddle. So just for your information, Jeremy, you look like a you look like a girl out there on a John Deere. And the distance was far enough that you would almost pass for one, except you're kind of goofy looking. But other than that, you know, that's my opinion. So that's all that, and that's all the humor I want to put in today. So a yell out or a shout out to Thomas out there. I know you've, looks like you're, from what I understand, it seems like everybody has lit up the channels out here, that your father's home. And hopefully everything is going pretty good. I'm sure that he's a happy person for being out here and being able to celebrate a Christmas out here with family. So shout out to your whole family, Thomas. Prayers for all of you. I hope things turn out very well for all of you. So, and I can't think of a whole lot. I hope everybody out there's got some New Year's plans. By the way, I never did tell you guys, you know, I thought we were going to have ham for Christmas, but we had some filet mignons in the freezer, And my wife got them out, and we had those for Christmas, and they were delicious. Oh, my goodness. And, of course, we had baked potatoes, and I'm trying to think what else we had, but it was quite the meal, and was worth all the effort that it took to get it all together. My wife did the work on it. I helped her with the dishes and the cleanup afterwards, but she did all the hard work. So my hat's off to my wife, too. She's a wonderful woman. I hope all of you out there got surprises, and they were good surprises, and that you're happy with everything that's going on. There's so much meanness and just plain jealousies and things like that out there in this world, that when we get a chance for just to take a few days off from it, we all grow. Our hearts grow bigger. We're more joyful. We look at the better side of life. And it's hard to go back into the grind and dig up things and make life so miserable for others. And I even, I had a few people that come on my channel. Of course, there's always a few that just downright, they're just mean-spirited. But I've had a few that we had a little bit of a dispute, but I've got a lot of times I go on their channel and see if there's anything out there on their channels. And I did, this is no kidding, I actually have a person on there that we don't necessarily agree on things. But this woman has a channel that I thought was pretty darn good. And even though she hasn't put stuff out on there, when she was, you could tell that she had a very big heart, and my hats are off to her. She knows who she is out there, so I don't have to say anything if she happens to come on my channel. I let her know what I thought about her channel. And the disputes are okay, that even though we don't agree on everything specifically, she's welcome to come in and make her comments. She knows how to make a comment using her opinion without getting mean about it. And I really want her to know I appreciate that, because it takes a big person, a very good person with a good heart, to be able to do that without trying to knock somebody else down and still get your point across. So you have a great day out there. And, now, that's not the only one that I've had those agreements with. There's some I haven't seen lately. Ed Warrior, I haven't heard from you on here lately. So hopefully you're listening. You get on here and have something to say. I always love the Canadian inputs. And matter of fact, there's a lot of people from Canada that I do send messages back and forth on a regular basis on here. I do it on a different venue. It is not on this channel. It's, the Canadian border is not very far away, and we have so much in common with our neighbors. And we do have a lot in common with our southern neighbors too, because a lot of our country was settled by our southern neighbors long before we ever came. So we got to appreciate what they did for us before we got here and rode the same trails that they did. And as we all know, we've got a different administration coming in right now. I'm so happy to welcome them in, and hopefully it is fruitful for everybody. That sometimes changes are good changes. Let's hope it is. It looks like it's going to start very quickly, and I hope that, like I say, I hope the changes are for the betterment of our world. Excuse me here. I gotta get a Kleenex. My nose wanted to run. I don't know why. Didn't want to scare anybody off there. I feel pretty good today. I don't know why my nose started running. Probably because I was out in the cold a little bit. My pup wanted to run around in the yard out there. And he loves company. And if I don't get out there with him 3 or 4 or 5 times a day, he gets upset. He keeps me going, and I guess I get to accompany. Oh, let's get back to some of the good things here. You know, our country seems to be kind of in a floating situation right now, trying to decide if the new things that are going to come about, if we are anticipating them or not. I'm hopeful that we can control our borders a little better so that we know who's coming across. I hope we don't close them completely, but I hope we take and check the people that are coming in so that we're bringing in good people, not necessarily letting in the criminals with the good people, because all it does is tear down on everybody coming in when we don't vet them. Okay. What are the good things the past year? Oh, well, one thing about it, I've gained a lot of new acquaintances that I didn't have before. And for the first time in all the years that I've been on YouTube, okay, it's the first time that I've had so many people that were disappointed in my opinions. And I know a lot of it has to do because I don't have the same opinion of one of the major creators. But I wholeheartedly believe in our Constitution that gives us that right. And I don't try to take away from you that right. And I hope that you don't intend on trying to take my right away from me either. It's important that we all understand that our opinions are important, and that if we didn't have them, this world would be not the great place that it is. This country was created with people with all kinds of different opinions, and our Constitution said, so let it go. Let those things out there be expressed. And I like that part of our Constitution, the freedoms that it offers us. Of course, it doesn't give us complete free rein. That's why we have certain laws that keep us from harassments and defamations and things like that. So, you know, we have to keep all that in mind, and I hope all of you do. And when you're out there, let's be a little less critical of each other as we go along those lines. Now, myself, the people that I like are the people that try to pick people up rather than the people that tear people down. So my opinions will always be on the side of the people that are building rather than the people that are completely tearing things apart. So I hope you understand that my opinions are based on those things. Now, some of the things that happened for the first time in my entire life, somebody has actually made fun of my wife in a disparaging way where I could not reach out and touch him. No, I know you're saying, well, is that a threat, right? No, it isn't. The people in the past, if anybody said something that was very despicable on my wife, they didn't do it the second time. Believe it or not, it only happened because they don't like my opinions. That's the only reason it happened. This rotten SOB is just lucky, that's all. Because I'm not there. And the only reason he hides behind something like this and does something like that is because he's a coward. And he proved it. And that's all I got to say about that. But on the other hand, I've gained a lot of good friends. And it's not that these people agree with everything that I say. And on the contrary, I've learned a lot of new things and new ways to express myself, to be not so judgmental, but negotiate and accept certain things that I can't change. And I guess you're never too old to learn, and that's what I've done. To the people I want to shout out to that I appreciated this year, because I didn't know you the year before, but that I've known you this year makes it has made it a better year, a year worth going through. So Lisa and Tori out there, I'm so happy to have listened to your channel and being a part of things that are going on with your channel. It's been highly appreciated. I enjoy it. I'm having a good time. And to Robbie out there, I enjoy your channel as well. And I understand your love of wildlife, because I have a love similar to yours, although I've never dedicated myself to the extent that you have to on that same thing. But my hat's off to you, Robbie, and the whole group around you that supports you, to include your son, Z. Boy, he sure looks like you. And it looks like he's got things in hand. I think he matches his dad, without a doubt. And we have a lawyer out there called Bruce Matskin and his wife, Tamara. I'm so glad to have been able to cross your path and listen to the wisdom that you've gotten and the heart that you have, where you've done a lot of pro bono work, and the fact that you're able to hold up under the scrutiny that you have. Like I say, my hat's off to you, and I'm glad to call you an associate and a friend. Super Dave, what can I say? You're just a breath of fresh air. You're a good reporter and investigator, and you run a nice, clean channel, and I'm glad, and I'm super happy to met Super Dave. How's that for you, Dave? PBR is another channel that I was able to watch and listen to, and that there's a lot of wisdom there. And my prayers are out for you, PBR, and your brother. I know it's been a kind of a tough time. I don't know what else to say about it, PBR, other than I do have you in my prayers daily, you and your brother. So, Thomas, you're a great kid. I don't know where I get that kid from, because, quite frankly, you're a grown man, and you act like a man. You don't act like a kid, and you're out there working. You've got a big heart. You've shown it, and you're one of those people that you make a great neighbor. And I think you'll do nothing but grow. I really do. I think you're just going to get bigger and better on a regular basis. Every one of your videos you put up, you seem to do a better job on them. And one of the things that I admire is that you like to do mechanic work, and you're good at it. That's one of my hobbies, is fooling with cars and trucks, and anything that has a motor on it gets my attention, including steam engines. And my garage is full of antiques of different types, of whether it's be small motors or different types of motors. There was always a couple of classics, years ago in here. I don't mess with them too much anymore because the age holds me back too much. But I get a kick out of your channel, Thomas, and I know the frustration in having to pull a transmission in and out a couple of times. I've been through that before. I know it's not funny, Thomas, but it just brings back old memories. Maybe throwing a wrencher here or two, or using some words that the good Lord probably spanked me for some way or the other. But, one time, this is a long time ago, my kids were still pretty young, but I just got off work, and I come swinging around the corner, and I slid. I went, I didn't pay that much attention. And back then, I was driving this big Cadillac. It was a Coupe de Ville Cadillac, and I ran into a car. Oh man, and it had a for sale sign on it. So anyway, I talked to the owner, and the owner said, well, how are you going to take care of this? Well, unfortunately, I didn't want to turn it into the insurance company because I had too many tickets at the time. I used to like to speed when I was young. And you know how that goes. Your insurance is already high, and you get another ticket, you may not have insurance. And in fact, you may not even have a driver's license when it's over with. But anyway, he said, well, I'll tell you what, you can fix the car, because he knew I was good. I did a lot of body work out of my garage, and I only lived a block away. I said, fine, that'll work. And it was cold weather because it had been snowing and stuff. And it's hard to do that kind of work in the winter, but it tied up my garage. It's a one-stall garage. And, of course, I did. I put it in my garage, and I got everything back out like it was supposed to be. And I got a little bondo on it. And of course, he called me up on a daily basis. And one day I said, just what do you take for it, bottom dollar? Because I'm getting tired of the rhetoric. And the longer it sat there, the less I wanted to work on it. And he gave me a price. So he worked it out. I paid it out over the next, I think it was 2 months. I paid him on a weekly basis towards that car. And I gained, it was a good car. There was nothing wrong with it. It had to be a Chevy Impala 2-door hardtop. And it was spotless. Until I hit it, it had nothing wrong with it. Perfect interior, great running engine. It didn't so much as have a scratch on the body. He about cried when I run into it that day, by the way. But anyway, I had it for quite a while. I don't even remember what I did with that car, but it was an automatic, air conditioning. It was a good car. I should have just bought it off him in the first place, and I did end up painting it and doing everything to it that needed to be done. You couldn't well, I don't know. I'm not going to say you wouldn't know that it hadn't been in an accident, because I was a pretty fair body man, but that doesn't mean another guy could walk up and say, I see a flaw or something, because you really have to be a top person for a body man not to see the work that's been done previously. Oh, but anyway, Thomas, it was frustration on me at the time because I was doing something I really didn't want to do, that I wasn't going to make any money out of. And I know when you're pulling the transmission in and out, it's lost labor. At least one time, it's lost labor. All the hard work you did, all that. But you persevered and got the job done, and now you're running that truck. And you're back to making some money with it, so that's a good thing. We all learned something from you, and that's perseverance. So good luck, and like I say, I'm glad your father was able to get home, and he's going to be able to celebrate the holidays with you, and that's always a good thing. So hats off to both of you, matter of fact. We got anything else to be thankful for this year? Well, if you got a little jingle in your pocket, that's a good thing. If you were able to follow us without crying too much and getting mad at us, that's a good thing. Hopefully, we didn't destroy Otter Creek with all our rhetoric. And if I've done anything out there that has brought you down for some reason, please accept my apologies for that, because I really don't have an intention of doing something like that. When I mentioned the other day about the water, I guess for me, I have a hard time believing that a person has to settle for drinking water and pay the price that it priced to have water that's not great. It's just hard to accept, that's all. And how much attention is given to it. With me, it's probably one of the most important things that a human being can have is good water. You want to make sure, for the most part, that it's chemical free, and absolutely, if you're going to grow up on it, you want to make sure that it tastes okay. I was lucky enough that when I grew up, I lived in an area that had a lot of springs, and spring water is great. I mean, I've drank directly from the springs before, and the big thing is avoiding sand, when you're taking a good swallow of water, because a lot of times you'll have a lot of sand particulates come up with the springs, depending on the amount of pressure that's being pushed out. My grandfather's farm was fed with, or my great-grandfather's farm, rather, was fed with springs, and it had just a small, little, very small stream going through it, but enough for farm animals to drink year-round, and it never froze or anything like that, because spring water really doesn't. Along the edges it does, but the spring water itself never does. It's always running. Oh, what else can I kick up out there? I gave one of my stories for today, so I don't need to bore you with another one, right? What am I going to do this next year? Well, for one thing, I want to straighten my garage up a little better, and I'm not doing it as a New Year's resolution. What I want to do it as is something that needs to be done, and I need to work towards that. I started a lot of things that I haven't completed, and if I'm not going to complete them, I need to put them away so that I can do things as they come in. That's all. Because I get too many going, I don't have enough bench space to do it. And the corner back over there is where I usually set up to when I want to do a song and stuff. And right now, I can do it to a certain extent, but not well enough to post a fresh one on here. What I do is I go back in there and look at some that I've had stored on here for a year or two, or however long it's been on there. Some of them I've done, I think, like 5 years ago. So I don't think I have anything older than that, but who knows? I haven't really dated them, so I don't know. My black Ford pickup here, I'll probably put it outside pretty soon. I've got a Cadillac pickup. I don't know if you've ever heard of them or not, but they're EXTs. I've had it for quite a few years, and I need to bring it in and do a little work on it. My air conditioning's got a leak I've got a tire that I need to get fixed on. I put all brand new tires on it a couple years ago, but I've got one that wants to go down. So I'll bring it in and take it off, then I can run it into town. It's got a few things here. It doesn't need an oil change or anything like that. I've kept up on that. Good cleaning. I haven't drove it as much this year as what I usually do. I've been driving this little Ford Ranger. But you'll get to see it behind me. It's on some of the other videos I had. I had it in here earlier in the year, do a little work on it, and then I put it back outside. It rides nice. It rides better than my car does. The Cadillac EXTs, they're over 5,000 pounds. I don't know exactly what it does weigh. It's got a big engine in it, and it's a four-wheel drive. Well, actually, it's all-wheel drive. It just stays. I think it probably has something like a limited slip system in or something. But anyway, all-wheel drive. It doesn't get stuck in the winter. I've never gotten it stuck. So you'll see that pretty soon. Probably in the next week or two. It'll be in here for a while. It's not something I can get done overnight. And I got a rust spot on the driver's side down there. I'm going to go ahead and take care of that. You'll get to see what I'm doing on that here pretty shortly. Anything else? Hopefully I won't have my snowblower out. I haven't had it out yet, but you never know. It could happen anytime. I bought one a few years ago, and it pretty much drives itself. It's got little buttons to turn it right or left, and it's a 3-stage blower, so it'll throw it out there easy 30 feet or better, maybe 40. It's like brand new, of course. Not that it's had a lot on it. It's electric start, but I have to walk behind it, and I don't have a shield on it, so I should have bought one. Man, you get out there and that wind blows, and this thing's blowing the snow up. Man, it's in seconds. You look like a snowman if you're not careful. You're shaking it off and trying to figure out, hey, I better not do it in that direction. But everything handles from easily from up front. I've got a little, like a dashboard up there, and I handle everything from there. So I can turn it different ways. I can run the chute up and down from up on top up there. I control the speed or the gear it's in from up there. What else does? It even has, the handles have hand warmers. So when I turn them on, actually your hands get kind of warm. It warms them right up. And I mean, in seconds, it's warm. So, and everything works good on it. And I think there's only been one time that I was stopped going forward, and that was a snow plow had plowed my driveway in, and there was about 3.5 foot of snow, and I had a heck time getting through it. I had to keep going into it and then take a shovel and chop it down. But other than that, it's done well. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I know that I rambled a little bit here and there. I think I only got negative once on there. That's got to be a new record. I was more interested in the good things rather than the bad things. Maybe as the year progresses, more good things will come up, and we wanted to talk about some of those people out there that don't like us. Some people that understand the right of opinion. I still don't understand why people get so negative at people just because of their opinion. They get so upset. I don't go on anybody's channel out there and catcall them or do anything like that. I try to keep everything contained right to here. And I'll be damned if people don't come in here and try to tear things up. When I don't do it, I don't go on their channel and do that. Everybody has a right to run the channel the way they feel like it, and then they shouldn't be bothered. But then, some people have no conscience, quite frankly. So I'll see you all later. Have a great day. See you next year.